Welcome back. Today I'll be taking a look at this beast right here, the Lumintop GT3 Pro. Let's check it out. There it is, the Lumintop GT3 Pro. So let me give you guys a nice close-up of this portable searchlight from Lumintop. And while you guys are checking this out, let's talk about some of the features. So the GT3 Pro is the upgraded version of Lumintop's GT3. While the GT3 had a maximum output of 18,000 lumens, the GT3 Pro has a maximum output of 27,000 lumens. It also has a maximum throwing distance of 707 meters and a max intensity of 125,000 candela. And pushing out those 27,000 lumens are 3 Cree XHP70.2 LEDs that are available in either cool white or neutral white and have a lifespan of 50,000 hours. There are 4 main lighting modes plus 3 special modes, strobe, SOS, and beacon. And those lighting modes are controlled with a single side switch. Included are 4 21700 lithium-ion rechargeable batteries, which can be charged through the fast-charging USB Type-C charging port on the tail. The GT3 Pro can also be used as a power bank and supports charging and discharging at the same time. The body's made from aircraft-grade aluminum with a Type 3 hard anodized finish and has a dust and waterproof rating of 68. The 6 means it's completely dustproof, and the 8 means it's submersible in up to 6 feet of water. And this is everything the GT3 Pro comes with. User manual, a 65-watt power adapter with a USB Type-C and Type-A ports, a Type-C to Type-C charging cable, 2 spare O-rings, and a 1/4-20 screw in there that goes on the bottom of the flashlight, a nylon cord lanyard, and the flashlight itself. As I mentioned, Lumintop is marketing the GT3 Pro as a portable searchlight, which to me is pretty obvious just based on the size and weight of this bad boy. And while we're talking about the size, let's talk dimensions. It has a length of 6.1 inches, a head diameter of 2.76 inches, and a body diameter of 2.36 inches. And according to my weight test, it comes in at 31.3 ounces. That's 886 grams, and yes, I did weigh it with the 4 batteries inside. Without the batteries, it comes in at 21.52 ounces. That's 610 grams. And let's do a quick size comparison with some other flashlights. This is the Olight Marauder Mini. This is the Nitecore TM20K. And this is the Phoenix LR50R. The LR50R has a much wider head, as you can see right there, but lengthwise, it only has about, I would say, a little less than maybe 1/4 of an inch more in length on the Phoenix. And I would say that's due to those tabs on the very bottom of the LR50R. On the GT3 Pro, it's just flat across at this cap. And overall, this feels like a solid brick of a flashlight. I love the knurling design right here where you grip the body. This feels very nice. And while you move up the flashlight, right here near the head, there's the heat sink, which gets extremely hot if you use this on high 2 or turbo for any amount of time. I did the beam test last night and this got very hot. I don't know the exact numbers. I'll do that a little bit later on in this video when I do the heat test. But just know if you need to use this on high 2, which is 9,000 lumens, or turbo at 27,000 lumens for any given amount of time, you're going to need some gloves, or just keep your hand as far back as possible. And it has a nice, thick, beefy bezel right here on the top. Very Olight color combination right here with this black and that blue. But you can see that bezel is pretty thick. And while we're here, I'll give you a look right down the barrel at those 3 Cree XHP70.2 LEDs. Now they are available in neutral white and cool white. The version that I have right here is the cool white version. Now this aluminum reflector right here is 62.2 millimeters in diameter. And you can maybe tell the beam profile just by looking at this reflector, but this is going to produce a very wide floody beam. Right here is that 1/4-20 tripod adapter if you need to mount this on a tripod, if you need to go hands-free. And right on the opposite side of that is a single rubberized side switch that you can see is backlit. If you don't want this backlit, if you want to save a little bit of battery life, you can turn this off, and I'll go over that when I talk about the UI. But check out the Lumintop bunny rabbit right there, right dead center of that rubberized button. I like it. Now this button is pretty high quality feeling. It is clicky. Let me get close to the microphone here. Hear that? Very nice, high quality. I almost just blinded myself right there. You have to be very careful with this flashlight. That 27,000 lumens on turbo is ridiculously bright. Now that's all I really wanted to go over with the body itself, but let's go to the tail cap. So obviously it's a flat tail cap right here, which you can tail stand, which is fantastic. This flashlight is bright enough, even at high, those 4,000 lumens, to light up an entire room if you bounce it off the ceiling. Which underneath this tail cap here are a few surprises. So if I twist off the tail cap, little button right there. If you press the button, activates the LED screen. The LED screen shows your remaining battery life percentage, 98%, your voltage and amperage while you're charging. Right above that is your USB Type-C and Type-A in and out if you want to use this as a power bank. Now they both support a maximum 500 watt and 5 amp fast charge and discharge. And if I plug in the Type-C charging cable and use the included power adapter, you can see what that screen looks like. It gives you a real-time readout of the amperage and voltage right there. Now at this tail, there's also this stainless steel ring where you can attach the lanyard right here if you want to. I haven't found a way to take this off yet, so I'm not exactly sure if you can or not, but if I put the cap back on and twist it off at that point right there, I'm going to show you those 4 21700 batteries here. So there's the 4 lithium ion 21700s, and I'll just take one out right there, and they're pretty generic. You can see there's nothing printed on those batteries at all except right there. And it looks like they are Samsung labeled, if you read that part right there. Now down there, you can see there is a spring down there, and right at the cap, there's 2 springs as well. Now those springs are gonna alternate. These 2 right here have springs on the bottom, and then these 2 right here have the springs on the tail. Now real quick, let's go over the lumens and runtime information. You can see those 4 lighting modes. Moonlight is 6 lumens, has a runtime of 25 days. That's your maximum runtime on this flashlight. Then high 1 is 4,000 lumens and has a runtime of 2 hours and 50 minutes. So high 2 and turbo, I'm considering burst modes. Because you can see high 2, 9,000 lumens, has a 40-second runtime, and turbo, 27,000 lumens, has a 20-second runtime. And then they both step down to high 1, either 2 hours and 45 minutes or 2 hours and 40 minutes. So even though Lumintop is advertising this as a 27,000 lumen flashlight, it's really a 4,000 lumen flashlight with a burst of 9,000 lumens up to 27,000 lumens. And then there's a 9,000 lumen strobe, SOS, and beacon. That's perfectly fine. Now, normally I would have an issue with a 6 lumen moonlight and then the next lighting level at 4,000 lumens, but this UI is rampable. And I'll show you that next when I go over the UI. Basically, you just hold down that side switch and it ramps anywhere from moonlight all the way up to 4,000 lumens. And then you can see the rest of the information there I already went over, except for the impact resistance. It has a 1 meter impact resistance. All right, let's talk about that UI. Extremely simple, just a single press on and a single press off. If you press and hold, it goes right to that 6 lumen moonlight. And if you press and hold that side switch when it's on, it'll ramp up all the way to that 4,000 lumen high 1, press hold again, goes right back down to that 6 lumen moonlight. And it does have a memory, so let's just stop here in the middle. If I turn it off, turn it back on, it goes right back to that same lighting level. So that is very nice. So if you are using that rampable UI right there to select your favorite lighting output, it will remember that. Now from on, if you want to reach high 2, just double short press that side switch. There's the 9,000 lumen high 2, and then double press again. That reaches the 27,000 lumen turbo, and that is extremely bright. In fact, I had to turn that off. That's reflecting off the desk, and that is blinding me. So basically, there's no instant access to high 2 or turbo because you have to turn the flashlight on first, then double click to get to high 2, and then double click again to get to that turbo. Now let's talk about those 3 special modes, SOS, beacon, and strobe. You can't reach them when the flashlight is off. You have to press and hold to get to moonlight, and then double press goes to strobe, double press again, it goes to SOS, and then double press again, and there's beacon. And as far as I can tell, according to the user manual and messing around with this UI, there is no other way to access those special modes. It has to be through the moonlight mode. And I should mention, SOS, beacon, strobe, high 2, and turbo are not memorized by the mode memory. The memory will only recall anything from 6 lumens up to that 4,000 lumen high. Yes, there is a lockout. Short press from off 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that just flashed. Now, it won't activate any of the lighting modes, but it will give you a momentary on. As you can see, I'm pressing that side switch. So that's what happens in the lockout mode. And if you want to exit lockout mode, just short press 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, and flashes again. Now we are back in constant mode. And I mentioned earlier that you can turn off the LED right here in the button if you want to save battery life. From off, short press the side switch 7 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, turns off that LED. To bring it back, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. All right, so now let's do the heat test. So I let the flashlight run for about a minute on turbo, and instantly the head shot up to about 111 degrees after about 3 seconds. As I said, it gets really hot really fast. So after about a minute, the head was about 130 degrees Fahrenheit, right around the heatsink area. At the body, it was fine. It was 103 degrees Fahrenheit. You don't need gloves or anything like that for 103 degrees, but 130, it feels very, very hot if you touch it without gloves. And I even did a test right there around the button. I'll put on the screen what the button was reading. Still pretty hot, even though it's rubberized. I didn't really feel the heat on the button, but obviously it's registering some heat. Also, turbo stepped down after about 25 seconds. It wasn't a gradual step down. It was a very abrupt click of a step down. There was no gradual ramping down of the light. It was very abrupt. So one thing I like is having the option to turn on or off this side switch on the side of the flashlight. So let's start on that 6 lumen moonlight mode. Yeah, that's a shovel I left in the backyard. I was out here tilling this dirt right here, but let's just start to slowly ramp up. And I'm going to ramp all the way up to right there, that little flash. That's high 1. That's 4,000 lumens. Oh my God. That is pretty awesome. You guys can see that is a very wide, very floody beam profile there. You can see that hot spot right there in the center. If I move it around, it's not a super well-defined outer perimeter, but that's not really to be expected because of those 3 LEDs, but I'm not really expecting that perfectly round beam profile here for this searchlight. Wow. I'll put on the screen from here to that barn and then from here to that tree right here. And I'll start to ramp down, press and hold. There's moonlight, press and hold again. Right there. So it is a fast ramp up from that moonlight to that high 1, 4,000 lumens. So let's double click. Let me point at that barn for high 2. Right there. There's 9,000 lumens. This is the high 2 burst. Should get about 40 seconds or so of this. Already starting to feel that heat. Wow. Right where my hand is feels fine, but I already feel it right here where this heat sink is on the head. And then double click, 27,000 lumen turbo. I mean, that is awesome. Basically just lights up this whole backyard here. Not going to get very long in this 27,000 lumens though. Just right around 20 seconds or so. But let me turn this off and I'm going to walk over to the side yard. I'll walk over there on high 1, 4,000 lumens. I'm very gray today. I got the gray hat on, the gray shirt, the gray beard. I might not do this combination ever again. I don't know, getting old sucks, but let's talk about the Lumintop GT3 Pro and that beam test. As I already mentioned, this thing is a beast. You can see it turned night into day in my backyard. Even though you're only getting about 20 seconds of that 27,000 lumens, it is very impressive. But that just makes this a 4,000 lumen flashlight with a 9,000 lumen and 27,000 lumen burst. But the question is, would I want to haul around this in my backpack just for a 4,000 lumen flashlight? And that's what it really comes down to. Do you have enough room to carry this beast around? If you're just going to put it in the back of your truck or car, absolutely. If you're going to carry this around in your backpack, this thing weighs just under 2 pounds. So it's going to add a lot of weight to your backpack and take up a lot of room. So that's something you should be asking yourself if you guys are looking at the Lumintop GT3 Pro. If you're just going to store this in your trunk as a portable searchlight, yeah, those 27,000 lumens are very impressive, and overall, this is a very impressive flashlight. If your phone ever loses charge in the field, you can use this as a power bank, fast charge it. Very convenient. But this bad boy isn't cheap, right around 240 bucks, even if it's available on the Lumintop website, which currently it's sold out. So if you have fairly deep pockets and can get a hold of one of these bad boys, I definitely recommend it, especially if you're in the market for a portable 27,000 lumen searchlight. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. What do you think of the Lumintop GT3 Pro? Now, if you want to check this out for yourself, I will have links down below in my description box. But if you did enjoy this video, please give me that thumbs up. Please subscribe. And go!